Hi everyone, my name is Hemendra, and I guess just wanted to um, say a couple of words about my experience with Duncan and Meditate London. So if you're hesitating, maybe you'll find this useful one way or the other, right? So I guess there's kind of two broad points that I would make. The first relates to Duncan in himself. Um, you know, I think that Duncan had a very kind, calm manner. Um, in the 4 hours, I guess, that we spent together, where he was teaching me the technique and the the reasoning behind it, I never felt once rushed or that I couldn't ask any questions. There was always a warmth about him and his face. And I felt a real connection, and I'm sure that because of the way he is, that will be a connection that you guys feel if and when you decide that you want him to teach you this program. I think that a lot of his answers were not just kind of practical, but a lot of his answers were stooped in kind of the ancient traditions of meditation, which I think that he's learned from his guru or his masters, who have then learnt from their masters, which kind of rely on I guess, a simple logic, but an important fundamental logic. Um, so, you, I guess the second broad point that I wanted to make, guys, is that is more about the benefits that I've felt in terms of practicing the TM technique that was taught to me by Duncan. Right? So I'm relatively young in terms of my practice of the technique, but I'm already starting to feel many different benefits, right? Positive benefits, I think. So, you know, I think that in terms of challenging situations at work or at home, I find that I am approaching them in a much calmer, um, flowing kind of way, right? So, I just find that I'm much more able to process them, right? And I wouldn't say that right now those situations are, like a duck, like water off a duck's back. Sorry, is the phrase I was looking for. But I'm getting there, I think, in terms of how I manage those things. I also think on the other side, where there are positive experiences at work or at home, I think I'm a lot more thoughtful, a lot more mindful of those, a lot more appreciative of those. Prefer to take those moments more slowly than before, and really sort of digest them and live them. Yeah. Um, I think that, and others can be the judge for this, but I think that the other thing that I've noticed in myself is more of a proactiveness in being kind to other people, compassionate, more understanding, appreciating that kind of one-to-one interaction with people more and more. And again, as I said, I think that others can be the judge of that. Um, in terms of whether or not I have changed with, if they're feeling a change with regards to the way I'm interacting or behaving with them. And I guess finally, I'm very grateful to Duncan and to Meditate London for having passed this technique on to me. Um, I do believe that if I continue to practice that technique, that there are huge benefits to be had. Benefits like an abundance of benefits, and I think that they will flow to me as I continue to get better and practice this technique. And and I think that Duncan and his team and Meditate London is doing good work by communicating this technique. And I do think that if you are fortunate enough to learn it and you continue to practice it, and you do well at practicing it, just trust in the technique. And I do feel that the benefits will almost certainly flow, and I think I'm starting to feel some of them already. So thank you, and I hope this helps those of you one way or the other who are considering learning this technique. And so thank you again for listening.